In a world where the marks think they know better than the wrestlers and the bookers, the Fantasy Booking Institute exists to pretty much do exactly that. This is a visit from the FBI. Hey, just, scrolling around on the website, looking at all our sweet merchandise. I'm really proud of the Pissant Podcast one, by the way. Welcome to another episode of the Fantasy Booking Institute, your weekly dose of pro wrestling fantasy booking. I am your host, Detective Mark Smarks, and I am joined, as always, by my partner in crime fighting, District Attorney Vincent Kayfabe. What's going on, man? How are you?
It's really starting to feel like as always.
Yeah, because you've been here.
Partner.
And just one. Yeah. JLB is not going to be here this week. He couldn't make it again this week. His schooling's getting a little bit overwhelming for him, so he's got to kind of just focus on that. And I guess
someday he's going to have kids.
Yeah. Yeah, I tell you what, I wish I could just call out sick from potty training right now. I posted on Facebook, the things people don't tell you about potty training is when they recommend you get treats to, bribe the kid with or whatever, those treats are also for you because you're going to be needing a morale boost on a regular basis too. And you will find yourself hiding in the kitchen, eating some of those snackies just because you need a break.
So, yeah, that's fun. Also, don't use prunes as the reward for potty training.
Yeah. Well, also keep in mind that certain food colorings used in certain sweets, like M&Ms or Skittles, can have an effect on the color of other things. Just so you know. Anyways, people didn't come to this podcast for this, and I apologize for this tangent. But no, JLB is going to focus on schoolwork this week. He hopefully will be back for our All Out. I had to remember what the name of this podcast, this pay-per-view was. Our All Out recap this weekend afterwards. So we'll hope to see him there. But yeah, it's a big weekend for AEW. We got 2 Chicago shows and then All Out featuring CM Punk's first match back from 7 years of not wrestling and 11 years of not working for a wrestling company.
It's a lot.
Yeah. And the reported debut of Bryan Danielson. They report that that's when they were originally apparently going to debut him at the show at Arthur Ashe in New York, aka New Jersey. Anyways, but they're worried that COVID restrictions are going to postpone that show, so they reportedly are tossing him in earlier. But there's a lot of speculation that he's not going to be the only big surprise at All Out, which, keep in mind, All Out is in many ways the WrestleMania for AEW, so surprises are not unheard of at it. And the Chicago shows are going to be
Lesnar.
Yeah, it's not going to be that, although until he came back at SummerSlam, there was a chance. And like I mentioned on the WBU earlier, there's a couple really big free agent names that are being hinted to show up within the next few weeks at Impact Wrestling, but they could also always show up at AEW because Scott D'Amore is expert level trolling people, and these hinted ones 100% could be him just trolling.
Or
they could be real, Who knows? It could truly be Braun for Glory. I doubt it, but I wonder what name, if he's going to go under Adam Scherr or if he's going to come up with a new wrestling name for Perfect.
I got it. He can be Cody Rose.
Cody Rose, yes. We need one of those. I still suggest Strong Broman. I think
I like Brains. Brain Strowman, I think, is fantastic.
I'd have to look. I'm 100% sure that WWE has trademarked the Strowman part, and so it might be enough too similar for him to use it another place. But that's why I like Strong Broman, because it's copyright distinct, right? It's not even the same words. And I don't know. But anyway,
and there's always that fun of the joke of what is Strong Broman doing in the Impact Zone?
Doing in the Impact Zone. So. But so a big week here. You know, I'm excited to see what AEW pulls out of its ass for All Out, because there's gonna be something fun happening. We just know it's coming. So, but yeah. Anyways. We will get into the fantasy booking here. Before we do, though, I like to take this time to remind everyone that Raw in Order is part of the Tatnus Co. podcast network. So make sure to go down to the doobly-doos below and click that link to tatnusco.com and check out the other shows there. If you are joining us for the live stream, welcome. If you are joining us later on either replay or in the audio version podcast, also welcome. The premise of this show is always simple. We're going to take turns challenging the other person to book some unknown and often unlikely scenario in the world of professional wrestling. We don't discuss them in advance, so our answers are always made up on the spot, because we think that's way more fun.
It is.
And I don't know, maybe you'll disagree with us on that, but we do the live stream every Sunday night at 10:30 and Tuesday night at 10:30. That's Central Time, because that's where we live. I know it's late for a lot of people, but when you have kids, you either do it after they're asleep, or you don't do a podcast at all, because you got to be chasing kids around. So. And so that was kind of our choice. We're going to look into, we've got a person who wants to join us for one episode, but he's also lives up in Montreal, and therefore it's really late for him, and he just can't make it work at the time that we do it. And so we're going to have to find a day that we can do a special earlier episode live stream.
So wait, JLB's going to show up for an episode?
If we can do one earlier. It's a different guy.
Oh, it's not JLB?
It's not JLB. It's a different guy.
Because he doesn't show up for episodes.
No. This guy, hopefully we can find a time. He's starting his own wrestling podcast and Facebook group and all that stuff. But he wants to join us to kind of help out here. And, you know, if we can get him on, we'll try. Anyways. If you liked our podcast, you like to support us, you can support us on patreon.com. Link is in the doobly-doos below. You can also go to our Spreadshirt, our merch store. Just like I was showing earlier, our merch store has all sorts of fun things at it that you can do. You can get a podcast shirt that says Pissant Podcast. You can get, this is one of my favorite ones. We just added the autograph collector shirt. So you can go in here and you can get this autograph collector shirt in whatever color you want. And the nice thing is you can actually match that to whatever show you're going to, right? So we're going to a Zello Pro show, and their color is neon green. So look at that. We can just get a neon green autograph collector shirt. And right there in the middle of the shirt, it's got a nice big design for you to get all of your autographs on there. Boom, boom, boom. You write the event name up here. Boom, boom, boom. And then you can hang that on your wall behind you, or in your trophy room, or you can wear it around to show off the autographs from the event that you went to.
Fake Sharpie included, real Sharpie not.
Yes. Fake Sharpie is right there. It does not come off the shirt. No matter how hard you try. But yeah, all sorts of colors there. You go into someplace that needs orange. Boom, there you go. You're going to SmackDown.
That's red.
It's a reddish orange. I guess this one is technically orange. That one's, anyways. But blue, that's kind of a turquoise. You'd probably want more a SmackDown blue if you're going to a SmackDown event.
There you go.
Right? You can do that one. Or you can do
For
dark
Raw.
red for Raw. Yeah. Or if you're going to AEW, you could do
Gold. Or black.
Yellow. You could do, I mean, this is called khaki, and it's the closest to gold you have, but I don't think you want to do that. So you'd probably, for that one, just want to go straight to black and do a black one.
But you, Mr. Listener, you can pick your own.
You can pick from any of those colors. And
If you want to go to a Raw show and get SmackDown colors,
yeah. Well, and
because half of
even
them won't be there next week.
yeah, even more than that, because I showed off those colors there, but look at all these other styles that you can choose from. You can even choose tie-dye, right? Boom. You want a tie-dye shirt? Spider orange. Black. Blue. Look at that. And you want to get really fancy here, right? Like we said, you can customize all the things. So you could come in here and you could choose to add, you know, a logo or a name on the back of that if you wanted to. You know, click here, customize. And you go here and you say, I want this shirt. I'm going to put it in the blue. I want on the back. I want it to say. First, we got to choose size. One of those.
Well, this is fun.
There, boom. There we go.
Smarts.
And you go, let's see. I want that in the center. I want to make that as big as possible. Right there. I don't like that font. I want a different font. Big old font like that. No. I want... Yeah. Yeah, I want it to look like a metal album. They really should add like a really metal font. You can even get it in Braille. Unfortunately, people can't feel it, so it kind of ruins it there. All of these fonts. Look at all these fonts here. So much fun you can choose from.
Oh, yeah, something for Sheamus. Okay, so we... What?
Apparently that's Greek. Anyways. Oh, cool, that's crazy. You could make it look like beer. I didn't even know that. That's new. Carbon fiber. Fire. You could have it look like fire. Doesn't look good on that blue, but you could do it if you wanted to. Ooh, medieval. There we go. That kind of looks like a metal.
Are you actually ordering your shirt right now? I feel like you're actually ordering your shirt right now.
No, I legitimately didn't know they had some of these designs. So I'm gonna go back to medieval.
You should go look at it after the podcast.
But so, anyways, we'll go play with that after the podcast. But that's all the stuff that you can do right there. And you can have your name on the back or whatever. You can put whatever you want. You can put fuck you on the back. I don't care, right? You can put we hate Raw and Order on the back. Doesn't matter to me. But you can do that all right there. A great way to support the podcast. Help us out that way. But anyways, we will go ahead and get into the Fantasy Booking Institute. Every week I do this, I open it up to D.A. Fabe, see if he wants to go first or if he would like me to go first with the challenge.
In the words of one of the guys from 8 Mile, let that bitch go first.
You're assuming you're meaning me? Okay. Okay.
No, I was talking about JLB.
Yeah, you can let him go first, but he's not here.
Okay.
So I will go first with the challenge to you. My challenge is pretty simple, right? Right now, the AEW Women's Battle Royal is scheduled for All Out this weekend, right? As of last count that I counted, right now, 11 of the 21 entrants have been announced, which means 10 entrants left, right? So I want you to fill those last 10 entrants. You can fill them with current members of the AEW roster, or you can fill them with anybody that you know of that is not currently signed to WWE.
I'm saying because others can cross over. So
Or you could choose someone from Impact or NWA. Technically, you could do Ring of Honor because they kind of have a crossover. It's right now, it's kind of a jump. It would be technically them crossing over with Impact and then into AEW, but it's still allowed. And you could do New Japan / Stardom, sort of. The problem with that is because they're coming over from Japan, there's the 14-day quarantine and all that stuff. So it'd have to be someone that we had reason to believe is not currently still in Japan.
well, and that was the difficult part for me because I would have one of the first names I would have said was Tenille Dashwood, but she's in Italy right now. So,
is she in Italy now?
Yeah.
She's an Impact wrestler, but
if you're in Italy, it's a little hard for me to.
It sure is.
I think first things first. There's going to be some people probably from last weekend at NWA. So I really, really have difficulty believing that Chelsea Green would not be there. So I'm going to say Chelsea Green's a choice.
Okay, and just to clarify, I just checked on it, and apparently they must have announced 2 more people. So there's only 8 openings right now, not 10. To read out the ones, the first one announced was Nyla Rose, Thunder Rosa, The Bunny, Big Swole, Julia Hart from the Pillman and Griff Garrison, Varsity Blondes. There we go. Ty Conti, Diamante, Penelope Ford, Red Velvet, Hikaru Shida, and Emi Sakura were the last 2 that I had heard announced. But apparently they've also announced Jade Cargill and Kira Hogan to it. So 8.
As I say, well, if Jade's not in it, then I'm throwing Jade in.
So 8 still open for you. So if you're taking Chelsea Green for one of them.
Yeah, Chelsea Green's definitely going to be there. I don't know if it's the right move. She's not going to win it. And for that reason, I don't think I'd do this, but I'd love to see Deonna Purrazzo there. I just don't think it's going to be Deonna Purrazzo. I really think this is a very good opportunity for the Inspirations to show up somewhere, to remind people, hey, we're here. And you still don't know where we're going to be signed, but we're here, and this is my nice little reminder. So there's 2 more is the Inspirations.
So are you not putting Purrazzo in officially?
I'm not putting Purrazzo in,
so
mostly because you can't have her lose, and then you. I don't think it helps them if she loses.
I think it could help if it's a screw job lose, or specifically a gang up by heels that she could face off with elsewhere. But that's up to you. So that's 3. So you got 5 more.
I don't think there's a lot of value to that. Can I pretend that there's not somebody in Italy right now?
I didn't know she was in Italy, so you know.
Well, she posted on her Insta today that she was. So. We're going to say Tenille Dashwood is back in the States, and those were old pictures that she took from Italy.
Always could be. It could be her swerving people, so I'll allow it.
Okay, Tenille Dashwood.
That's 4.
I would be remiss. I know that they're waiting on Ruby Soho for New York, but I'd be remiss if I didn't say I really want her here.
5.
You're gonna put her there?
Well, I guess I'm putting it up there because I thought you were. So,
Okay.
but if you're not, you just say the word. It's your booking.
Hold on. I'm deciding whether or not I want to put her there. Yeah, I will put her there. And the remaining 3 come across as a feud, but I think it would be a unification. I think you could make it look like a unification with Angelina Love, Velvet Sky, and Madison Rain. I think that makes sense to have the beautiful people come in 3 different groups, have a temporary reunification. Because I mean, people can suspend their disbelief enough, even if they watch and they know that Angelina Love and Madison Rain have been at each other's throats for years and all that stuff. You know, I can sell myself on it. So I would have all 3 of those. I think the beautiful people are a great addition to that.
Okay.
So, and they are on different promotions. I mean, Velvet and Angelina are both at ROH, and Madison, I believe, is still an Impact. Madison Rain.
To be perfectly honest, I'm not sure. She was at one point, but I think
I'd love to see the return of Gail Kim, but I don't think you're going to see that.
She had specifically said
she's
that she is retired, where she's retired, and the only way she ever comes out is for Impact Wrestling. That doesn't necessarily mean that she couldn't come back for this, but
I think it's a one-off.
Madison Rain is in Impact right now. Yes.
Okay. I mean, if I could get the one-off, I could easily replace Tennille Dashwood or Ruby Soho with that. You know, it's tough because you want Decay there. You know, I'd love to see Jessica Havoc there. That showdown between Jessica Havoc and Nyla Rose would be fire. I don't think that Karma or Awesome Kong has the draw she did before.
Well, and considering she just last weekend officially retired, I don't.
Oh, she did.
She came out at the NWA event and announced that she is done with wrestling. So,
I'd love to see Aja Kong. That'd be a great one, and you could sell Aja Kong versus. I mean, we haven't seen her in 2 years, but again, that the Japan part of that comes into play. You know, trying to think if there's any other. All right, am I missing somebody? There's somebody in your head. I can tell.
Oh, there's definitely somebody in my head that She tweeted out a photo the other day that a lot of people are speculating is hinting that she's going to NXT, right? And I am of mindset that this is her trolling people. And this isn't the first time that she's done this. She has trolled people basically the entire time she's been a free agent.
I'd also like Jordynne Grace. Oh. Yeah, Tessa.
This is the time, Tessa.
This is a great move for Tessa.
Mm-hmm. And that's it.
But the hard part is because of the Impact agreement, I don't know that happens.
I think
time heals wounds, so maybe.
I think with Impact, Impact knows everything's about business. Because here's the deal: Impact just had Kira Hogan on it, and she left, right? Right. And now she's in AEW, and obviously Impact isn't holding any grudge for her leaving to go to AEW. She's not. To be clear, she's not officially signed with AEW, but she's wrestled 5 times, one of them being on Dynamite. She's now announced for this. She's in AEW, right?
Yeah.
And so obviously they're not worrying too much about that. And, you know, they had Brian Cage leave to go to AEW, and Brian Cage was one of their biggest names at the time. And so obviously I think they understand things are a business, and if someone leaves, you know, keeping this partnership open can allow them to still work. You know, I mean, we could see Brian Cage show up in Impact.
Tessa didn't really leave. She was like,
there
was
thing,
heat.
The bad blood with Tessa is more Tessa than on
I
Impact,
understand.
right?
It's like the entire market.
Yeah. Well, but that's my point. I don't think Impact has heat with Tessa. I think Tessa has some heat with Impact, which is why she would return in AEW, not an Impact thing. That's my thought. Here's what, like I said, she trolled pretty hard. She tweeted out pictures of her with $1 million bucks, right? Like just covered, like rolling in $1 million man bucks, right? Which with the recent $1 million man involvement in NXT, the whole Cameron Grimes situation, and the way $1 million man left, right? There's a lot of people who are like, "Oh, that means she's coming back to NXT, and she's gonna be $1 million man's new person." I'm of the mindset that I think $1 million man's done with his stint in NXT. I think he came back to tell a story with Cameron Grimes. That story is over. I think he's gone now. I don't think we're gonna see the $1 million belt anymore. I haven't watched tonight's Impact, so maybe it came up. But I think that storyline's over. They're obviously.
What about tonight's NXT?
I haven't watched it. I don't know
that one. Okay. Well, you just said Impact, so I don't know.
Oh, sorry. I meant NXT. I haven't watched tonight's NXT, so I don't know if the storyline happened any way, shape, or form in it. But my estimation is that storyline is over for that. I mean, they've already moved LA Knight into the main event picture last week. Whether he stayed there, I don't know. You know, we don't know anything about their plans now. It's a wild card. But so my thought process is, I think that storyline is over. I think this is Tessa trolling, knowing that people would see that and immediately jump to, she's going to WWE, she's going to NXT, which they did. I can tell you I saw no less than 5 different videos on YouTube from well-known, respectable YouTube wrestling channels like Wrestle Talk, like What Culture, like Cultaholic, you know, like I think WrestleMania was one of them, you know, all over the place saying, "Oh, Tessa Blanchard to WWE, it looks so," you know. I think she's trolling. I'm on record now saying I think she's trolling. I think that, and that's exactly what she wanted you to do. Because she did it before. She tweeted out the picture of her training Sasha Banks and Bayley last year, right? 6 months ago or whenever it was. And everyone was like, "Oh my God, she's training with WWE stars. That she's coming to WWE." Never showed up. Later, she was training with other people, right? She was training a month or so ago with the NXT Bayley girl. I don't know if you remember her, but she was the one who always showed up to NXT tapings at Full Sail. She was a big Bayley fan. Anyways, so I think this is Tessa trolling people. And more specifically, this is a red herring. Troll people to make them think I'm going to WWE so that when I show up at AEW on Saturday, it's a huge shock. So I'm not really a betting man, and so I'm not going to actually put money on it. But if I were a betting man, that would be my stunt bet.
I'd love to see her. So in the very first men's one for AEW, we had a surprise 22nd entrant.
Mm-hmm.
That 20-second entrant did not affect the match. I'd love to see Tessa Blanchard come out and affect the match as
Mm-hmm.
the 20-second entrant,
Yeah.
basically by annihilating everybody who's left in the ring and then
I,
leaving.
I don't think they're going to have her as a 22nd entrant. I think she could be the 21st entrant though. That final one, and that makes a whole lot of sense. The format of
If she signed,
AEW's
yeah, that's a great move.
if the format of AEW's Battle Royal sets it up that the biggest surprise almost always should be the 21st entrant because it was the
It's
only
been
one.
Matt Hardy.
Yeah.
It's been so the two that they've had on the men's one was Matt Hardy and Adam Hangman Adam Page.
But that's the reason the 21st one is the best place for a surprise debut is it's the only one that gets its own entrance, right? All the other ones come in groups of 5, right? So yeah, they play the music and all of this stuff, but you're sharing the spotlight with 4 people no matter what. The 21st entrant is the only one that gets that full music hits, they come out, holy shit moment. And that's where Tessa Blanchard coming out. And then she can do basically what you said. She can come in and clean house. And even if she doesn't win, if there's 16 people left in the ring when she comes in and she clears out 10 of them before finally getting eliminated, it's still a huge debut for her.
Yeah.
So, I think that's where if I were to do things and if she's actually coming, which again, I don't have any insider knowledge, right? This is just me putting 2 and 2 together and using my detective brain and saying,
You didn't call your buddy Dave?
yeah, my buddy Dave, yeah. No, I did not call him.
Your butt buddy Dave? Is that what you just said?
My buddy Dave.
Dave.
What up, Dave?
Dave's not here, man.
Dave's not here. Who is it? Man, it's Dave, man. Dave.
Dave's not here,
Dave's
man.
not here. There's a huge group of our listeners who don't know what we're talking about, but there's at least some of them who are like, oh my goodness, I didn't peg these people.
Did these Star Wars nerds just quote that?
Chong? Really? Yes, we did.
Yep.
Sure did. Anyways, that's the one name that's like floating out there that I'm like, oh, that it really could be her. Also worth pointing out that effective tonight, the no compete clause should run out for all the other people released at the same time as Aleister Black, which was Buddy Murphy, Lana, Braun Strowman, Ruby Soho, and Santana Garrett. So there's always a chance that we could see Lana show up in this. I think.
Sorry, I
would rather it not happen. But,
all the crossover relationships you've built, all that stuff, you're gonna piss that down your leg with Lana.
Mm-hmm.
Miro, we love you, bud, but
yeah,
you're
Lana out of my peanut butter.
Well, I suppose she can be in my peanut butter, but
hey, you're single. You can have Lana in your peanut butter.
I can't have that, Lana. He'll kill me.
He will 100% kill you.
Yeah.
In terms of, I think Inspiration showing up is a potentially good call. I would love to see him in AEW. I think it's most likely they're going to Impact, since that's the only one of the groups that currently has a women's tag division. And they're obviously going back together as a tag team. So
I think if Tennille's stateside, I think she's a great move for them in this.
She potentially is. I mean,
But she is less entertaining than she was in WWE.
Well,
she really is enjoying semi-retirement, is what it looks like.
She's doing really good in Impact with Caleb with a K. She's got a whole thing going on there, but no, the inspiration. I just think if they come in, they're coming in as a partnership with Impact, just to bring that more in focus.
Well, I mean, some serious pop for your women's tag belts.
Yeah.
The following week.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the other. I think they would say wrestling for Impact Wrestling, the inspiration. You know what I mean? And make it clear that these are not AEW signings. These are.
I think it'd be really cool to have. I mean, you want to play the D'Amore card? Have D'Amore come out and be like, tell his girls, hey, no, that's not beneficial to us. That benefits them. Come on, kind of play that.
Well, yeah. Except
this is where we're the big dog card.
Yeah. Except here's the deal: is in the end. Because the winner gets a shot at the AEW Women's Champion. They have had their top star, their top championship on an AEW wrestler for most of this year. This could be their shot at trying to get it the other way.
Yeah,
get the AEW Women's Championship on there. So let's
and I like I said, I like the idea of Deonna Purrazzo draped in gold. I think it works, especially with Drama King Matt and her working their program together. Maybe.
And she is, in a way, draped in gold. Because she has the AAA Women's Championship. I don't remember what it's called, but...
This is a doable thing. I just don't know that it's going to get done.
Anyways, so that was my challenge to you. I think it's a fun challenge just to fill the time on
blanks
on AEW All Out Week. Because here's the deal. I don't expect us to get any major surprise debuts for men or women during this week, right? Because this is for the surprises at All Out. But that being said, there are some big names that are suddenly free agents that could show up. Another big name that is suddenly a free agent that could show up in the men's side is Mr. Adam Cole Bebe. He has
no non-compete.
Yeah, no non-compete. He can show up wherever he wants to. He is apparently still talking with WWE, but not... Like, WWE has basically said, as far as they're concerned, as of right now, he's not with the company. That could always change, but right now...
Boy, that could be some espionage bullshit right there.
Mm-hmm.
Come in and one off with the club, with the elite, and then go back to WWE.
Yeah, here's the deal: is I don't think Tony Khan brings him in without some sort of contract.
Yeah.
Tony Khan's not going to bring him in for a one-off. But, like, Buddy Murphy could potentially be a one-off. We'll bring you in for a tryout sort of a situation. But Mr.
Adam
Cole is either going to be there or he's not. That's what it comes down to. So, and I'd love to see him there. I think AEW would use him a lot better than WWE ever did. But
I don't know if they ever did, but, I mean... New NXT is not old NXT.
No, true. But I mean, yes, Adam Cole was a big star in NXT and was used fairly well. But I think he could be better than the company's developmental champion, right? Because it's 100% clear that WWE still believes NXT is developmental, not a... They tried to pretend like, it's actually a viable third brand. But when the man in charge doesn't see it as a viable third brand.
Say, it's not that they tried to pretend that. We decided it was.
Yeah, we just said we like it. We like it, and it's our favorite of the brand, so we're going to put it at the top. But
I mean, vast numbers of fans, not just us,
mhm.
but vast numbers of fans said that. So,
But in the end, obviously, Mr. McMahon said, "Nope, you are developmental. That's what all you will ever be to me." And at that point, it doesn't matter what we think. That's all they're ever going to be there. And, because Adam Cole, in my opinion, could have been main roster Universal Champion.
absolutely.
Same thing. I mean, we had the conversation on WBU about Finn Balor and how I do not think Mr. McMahon views him as an actual main roster star. He is at best to Mr. McMahon a gimmick.
And now he doesn't even dress like a demon anymore. Grr.
So, and because of that, I think Mr. McMahon is going to use him.
He's the prince. He needs a crown.
Yeah. He's going to use him as a gimmick, as a
Did I lose you?
No, just going to use him as a one-off, pop the crowd sort of thing, and then roll on. And so I could totally see in my book, Mr. Bebe and I would love it if Mr. Balor left WWE and went back to being Prince Devitt, and but he's got at least another year on his contract.
Yeah. So, since we're talking about those particular wrestlers, let's do another fantasy booking.
It's your turn. What's your challenge?
Okay. My goal is to have this happen in less than 7 minutes, so we can keep this short tonight. So my thoughts are, I was originally thinking I'd challenge you to all 4 major individual titles in WWE Premium, but I'm just going to let you pick 2 and create a 5-man rotation for the title. For the title picture. In other words, not just an Umaga who comes in and has a 3-match series with John Cena but loses all 3 or anything like that, but a rotation where it's moving back and forth, where there's some fluidity to the title. We've said that we thought that this could really build them. I gave you kind of my impression of 2 of them on WBU by incident, so I'd like to see you do that.
So you want 5 men for the champion?
Universal, one men's and 1 women's. You can choose Universal WWE. You can choose Raw or SmackDown, and they don't have to be on the same brand. It's going to be easier to do SmackDown though.
So, well, I'm going to make a little twist on this, and I'm going to do a title unification. We're just going to have 1 champion across both brands.
Oh, then you got to make it like 7, because you're giving yourself Lashley and McIntyre and Roman.
Well,
and you got to add 2 people.
You flat out said it didn't matter which brand they are, so I could have said that we want Lashley to come over and challenge Roman Reigns to try to be double champ. So by your own,
I wanted them to stay on the brand that they were.
Based on your rules, I'm not doing any.
Okay, make it 7 people. That's fine.
Okay, fine. I can do 7 each.
Over 2 years, you easily had 7 people in the WWE picture in the mid 2000s or early 2000s.
It all simply comes down to, because I literally, WWE has not currently built, in my mind, enough male or female superstars on either roster for it to be reliable.
Okay. I'll let you cheat. It's fine, but it's got to be 7.
I'm
only increasing it by 2. I'm not saying 10 because that would be ridiculous.
I'm not arguing with you. Jeez, so chill. All I'm saying is because because I come to SmackDown, right, and I look at this, and yeah, I know you want to say they've put Finn Balor in there, but they haven't, because he's wrestled 2 matches since he came back to the main roster, if even that. So they haven't established him. They haven't established Big E as
you don't have to follow their rules. You can make your own rules.
That's fine.
You already did with the challenge. So.
And my point is, I'm saying if we're making this about reliable whatever, then it has to be stars that have been established as potential main rosters, potential champions, right? Because like I can't say Rick Boogs. They've had him come out and he's looked like a superstar, but he hasn't been established, right?
Yeah, that wouldn't work.
Heck, right now I can't say Sami Zayn, because even though I think he's championship material, they haven't established him as championship material, not main event championship.
But by that same token, they have established Finn Balor and they have established Kevin Owens, and
they've established them as main event, but they haven't in the past. When was the last time either of them reliably challenged for the championship on the main roster? Finn Balor
Kevin Owens was last year.
A full year, right? And that's my point. So
you're limiting yourself to Vince's rules, man.
No, in the end, I'm limiting myself to my own rules because of the way they've been presented, right? I look at the SmackDown roster and I can't see 5 people that I can reliably say are main event championship material because of the way they've been presented over the last 3 years. I can't say Cesaro, even though I think he is, because he has not been presented that way. And you have to build them up to be a reliable superstar before you can do this. By the rules of this thing, for it to popcorn back and forth to build a championship, the people have to be believable, right? That's why it works so well. You had stars that had been set up to be superstars, and it can popcorn back and forth between Mankind, Triple H, and The Rock, because they were all, and Undertaker, because they were all presented as main eventers beforehand. So, because
like right now, still had to win it the first time. Rock still had to get his first win.
They still had, but they were presented.
Still had to get his first win.
They were all still presented as main eventers leading up to it, and that's where the problem is with them. Is because on the SmackDown roster, there's maybe 3 or 4, I guess 4 if you add Brock Lesnar in it, that have been presented as reliable main eventers.
Okay. Right. So let's do it, because now that we've used 6 of the 7 minutes.
You gave me this challenge. It's going to take me 20 minutes because I'm going to do this thoroughly. You said you wanted it to be a 7-minute challenge, and you say book 10 people, right?
7.
No, it was going to be 10. Two championships. So it was 10 people. Now it's 14.
Okay.
So
Let's go.
You said 7 minutes, and then you gave me 10 people to book. I'm not going to do 45 seconds per person, right? You know me. We've been doing this podcast for 3 years now, right?
Finn Balor's running the championship. I'm changing it. Go. No, whatever. Come on.
You know me. So
we both want bedtime.
I'm unifying the title because that gives me more potential main eventers. So of course we've got Roman Reigns because he's been established, right? We've got Brock Lesnar because he's come back and he's been established as a champion before, so that works. We've got that's 2. We've got Rollins. That's 3.
Mm-hmm.
The first one that would be popcorning up to it would be Big E, 4. Then we've got, of course, Bobby Lashley, 5. Oddly enough, I'm actually not putting Drew in this mix. A person that should popcorn up is Keith Lee. So that's 6. So one more for that. They're obviously building up for it. It's going to be Damian Priest, number 7. You can popcorn around those people and build things up. I personally feel like right now, Drew McIntyre has tarnished enough, and hasn't built himself up enough to put him in there. And Karrion Kross, I'd love to put him in there, except the way they're presenting him now fucking looks like a gimp. So now we're going to go female. Of course, we're just going to say right away, Charlotte and Becky are definitely in that mix. As in conjunction, we're also going to put Bianca Belair in it, as much as I feel like the recent string of events has hurt her. She's still in it. Asuka, as long as she comes back from her injury, puts us at 4. Sasha, 5. First person to popcorn up is going to be Toni Storm. 6. And the only way it works is if they present her as a major heel, but Shayna Baszler, 7.
Which means, in honorable mentions, we've left out Randy Orton.
Randy Orton's Universal title days are over.
Rhea Ripley.
He knows it. Rhea Ripley did get left out, yes. Alexa Bliss also got left out, but again, for Alexa Bliss, that's so much with how she's been presented.
It's been 5 years since she held the title, yeah.
Yeah.
I would say on the men, I'm mind boggled by your stance on Drew, but that's okay. I think
he's just cooled so much. I was a Drew fan. I've got a Drew McIntyre shirt that I wear on pay-per-view days, and I'm not even rooting for him in the main event.
I think sell toys, have gimmicks is what hurt him the most. The stupid sword. Stupid sword in storytelling time.
I think they decided to make him a babyface, too much of a babyface, and that's not what made people like him. You know, no. It's like you have Stone Cold come out and smile at the camera and laugh.
The reason
that's
we
not
liked
what people
him
wanted, right?
Was the Scottish psychopath,
yes,
who wasn't quite gonna kill everybody he met in random on the street.
Yes, the Scottish, slightly less psychopath.
Yes, that's what we really wanted. I will say, I kind of agree with you taking Baron Corbin out of it, but I could totally see him popcorn up there. But I think they missed the boat on Baron Corbin. I think way back at Constable, he was a viable shot here.
I think, Constable, when he was that was the point to do it, when you're an authority figure.
In the
authority
dog
figure,
food era.
Yeah, he can use the heel authority figure to book himself into a title match and somehow or another
get the win.
Maybe even tilt the odds in his favor by making it a special gimmick match that he has the best chance of winning. You know, all of that stuff. Really easy for them to do with him, and they didn't. I mean, like you said, there were some honorable mentions that just based on the way they've been presented recently, I can't do, but
obviously Kevin Owens fits in that mold.
Yeah. I mean, he just hasn't been presented.
Finn Balor does.
Yeah, Finn Balor. Big E, I've said this, you've said this, he deserves to be in the main event. He's
He needs to
over
win
enough
with
to
that
be in the main event.
briefcase.
Now that he's got the money in the bank, he needs to cash it in and win. The problem is they're not going to have him do that against Roman right now. So what has to happen is Roman has to lose it to someone for Big E to cash it in on that person and win. Well, they're not going to have Big E cash it in on Brock, right?
No.
They're not. So the only one right now that they
Seth.
presented in the main roster would be either Seth or Finn. Finn wins it and then loses it to Big E.
Finn's too light, not babyface, but light.
Yeah.
I think Seth is your right move there. I think the big thing is you also left out Edge, which I agree with. I do not think Edge is a title contender.
Yeah, I think Edge is in the same position that I think CM Punk should be in AEW.
Yeah.
Edge's thing right now should be to make the new stars look like superstars, right?
I do truly believe that Randy Orton should be a 15-time champion, not a 14-time champion. I believe that there's another championship run in Randy Orton, and it could be short-lived.
Yeah, I think the only way that happens is transitional champion, but I don't think they need to. I think his legacy is secure. He can run with RK Bro for a while. He can continue to be
RK Bro.
He can continue to be an agent of chaos. And that's fine. I mean, I've said before, I think we're living in peak Randy Orton, but peak Randy Orton does not need to be champion Randy Orton.
No. Nope.
So,
no, like you ruin people. Sometimes you ruin people when you make them champions feed.
Sometimes you ruin people when you don't use them right, like Nakamura. He's being presented better now, and maybe in 6 months I'd be able to buy him as a main eventer again. But
also, an honorable mention to AJ Styles. I'm surprised you missed that one.
He's in the Edge category for me now. I think
Really?
AJ's to the point now where his best use is to make the younger superstars look like superstars, and
I
not
think
be
the
champion,
Bodyguard
be the
era
champion.
gives him one more championship. That's my opinion.
I think the Bodyguard era gives him.
Unfortunately, they went to a tag
champion.
team. Yeah, unfortunately, they went the tag team route instead of putting a singles title on him.
Yeah, I don't think it gives him another run as a singles title. I think it only works for him as a tag title because of the way they presented him. But
that's on them. I mean, here's the deal: every other time we've done Bodyguard era, we've gotten some pretty solid singles runs, and they're not going to do it with this one.
No.
So.
But I mean, that being said, like, I would love to see Ricochet in the main event title picture, but they have not presented him as a viable contender. And if you put it on him now, it doesn't build the title, it diminishes the title. I would love to see Dijak on it, but T-Bar has been presented horribly. And so if he were to suddenly challenge for it and win, it would do the same thing to the title that it did when Jinder Mahal showed up out of nowhere and won. Us fans spent the next 6 months going, fucking Jinder?
And it really, it wasn't the worst title run we've ever seen.
No,
that's
but
the
we
sad
spent
part.
the entire time. The problem is, what they didn't do is they didn't build Jinder up.
Yeah, he just surprised I beat Randy.
Yep, that's the deal. They didn't have him come and go on a run and be a monster heel that eventually wins. They just had him show up, suddenly all jacked. Steroids. Sorry, I had something in my throat. Suddenly all jacked and then win the championship. And what? So we didn't buy him as a champion, right? And that's the same thing with T-Bar right now. Frankly, there's a lot of them on the Raw roster that kind of fit in that same sort of place where I would love to see them in the main event, but they've kind of ruined their characters so much that you can't really buy them. I know Vince McMahon thinks Jeff Hardy should be hovering around the title picture again, but no.
Only if it's against Edge.
No.
They need a geriatric title.
A Legends title that only Hall of Famers can challenge for.
You must be over the age of 45 to be in it.
They bring the Hulk Hogan commemorative title out as the Legends title, so everyone has to compete.
Boom, boom. Big gold belt with Legend written on it in spray paint. And the guy has to come out playing it like the guitar.
No, I'm actually thinking I'm trying to remember how to spell commemorative. Go with.
You're gonna put the Hogan belt up, huh?
Yeah. Is it not on Shop WWE anymore? Signature Series. Is that it? Oh, it's on sale. You can get it for the low price of $375 right now.
Jeez, oh Pete. All right. But I just wanted to give those honorable mentions.
This belt. You have everyone competing over that belt.
That's too funny.
Oddly enough, it's actually not the worst of the commemorative signature belts. I mean, because it's 100% a Hulk Hogan sort of a thing. I was really, really disappointed with the signature belt they did for Macho Man. It was so plain. Like, you're supposed to be a commemorative belt for someone, and for someone as crazy as Macho Man. And let's see if I can find it here. See, they might not even still have it on here. They don't anymore. See, like the
No
John
Madness
Cena,
belt.
the John Cena signature spinner belt.
Fruity pebble colored spinner.
Yeah, it's not too bad, right? The Eddie Guerrero signature series one.
Latino Heat.
Not too bad. Undertaker 30-year commemorative, not horrible. Razor Ramon IC belt, I'm fine with. Mankind one.
Yeah, that works.
The NWO Hogan one isn't horrible. I don't like the belt part for it, but that's on the inside, so I'm like, whatever. Bret Hart one's not too bad, but Shawn Michaels one looks like Shawn Michaels. China one's kind of boring, but I guess her outfit was always just leather with studs, so, you know. But maybe it's under Legacy Series. Let's see if the Legacy one is here. There's the Macho Man Legacy one. $850. And the belt you get looks like this.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I mean, it comes in a cool case shaped like his sunglasses, so that's cool.
I suppose.
But the belt itself, it's just so plain. You know what I mean? It's just like,
Yeah, there needs to be something Madness related there.
Yeah. And like, I mean, it just bugs me so much. But speaking of belts, we're gonna move on to non-WWE related. Did you see the new GCW belt?
Yes, I did. That dude trolls like a champ, man. Oh wait, he is.
Yeah. Oh, let me see if I can find a good picture of it. I didn't realize until today.
I love that he trolled WWE at the same time as he trolled the fans. Like
Yes.
that was gold.
Let's see if I can find it. I'm gonna have to go to his Twitter.
Jon Moxley.
He oh, no, still on images.
Fuck you.
His Twitter game is strong right now. I gotta be honest with you. But so he's the new GCW champion, hardcore legend, and
Hardcore legend.
he redesigned their belt. Oh, come on.
In a mockery of Cena.
He called it the new Universal title. I love that shirt.
What's it say?
So no chance in Atlantic City and no chance. But here's he was quick with that design because Vince McMahon put out a Vince McMahon No Chance in Hell shirt, limited edition shirt that had Vince McMahon playing at a table like that. It's almost that exact same image. And Matt Cardona came around and immediately did his own version of it. Here we go. Belts by Dan. I should have gotten to Belts by Dan first. This is the new GCW Championship.
With a spinner.
It's the Universal Championship. Right? Which is trolling WWE.
The Universal title.
The Universal title. But then, even more than that, go to Belts by Dan. Belts by Dan does some...
I wish he would have done like Omniversal Championship. Or Multiversal Championship.
So that's the design.
Jeez.
It's a spinner belt. Oh, I love you, Matt Cardona. I love you right now. Because he's leaning hard into he's a WWE guy. Why we can't have a WWE guy be our Universal Champion? Sure can.
Our GCW champion.
GCW champion.
Even you fell for it.
Ooh, you can get a Bojangles Championship spinner belt. I'm all excited about it, but I've never actually got to eat at Bojangles. Because there's none near us.
Anywhere near us.
Yeah, nowhere near us. We'd have to travel hundreds of miles to get to one. Multiple hundreds. In fact, I'm going to figure out how close one is. We were going to our game of AEW Ring of Honor or Impact, where we take three current WWE superstars and we move them to another
brand.
And I'm just kind of winging it right now. So I am going to go with current women's champions. All
right. Well, so Becky to AEW.
So here's the deal. Remember, it's Becky. It's fucking Charlotte, and it's also important because we're also using Raquel Gonzalez in NXT. So
yes, Becky to AEW, Raquel to Impact, Charlotte to ROH. I am that tired of Charlotte.
You and me both.
That's it. That's the whole story. I'm done. I think if you question that, go ahead and tweet at me at DA Vincent Kayfabe right there. I won't read it. I won't care, and you'll still be wrong. Becky to AEW, Raquel Gonzalez to Impact, Charlotte to ROH. There you go. Okay. I'm going to do people who shouldn't be in the title picture that are. Ready?
Okay.
Damian Priest.
Okay.
I'm just gonna be a shit here, and I'm just gonna fucking shit all over guys that I like for the title picture, but Damian Priest I don't think should be in the title picture. Anyway, Damian Priest, Goldberg, and I'm gonna go with Finn Balor because you just told me that he doesn't belong in the title picture.
Well, you made it really easy for me. So, Finn Balor to AEW.
Okay.
Damian Priest will go to Impact.
As Punishment Martinez?
Yeah, he'll go back to Punishment Martinez, which is the better name anyways.
Yeah.
And then we'll send Goldberg to Ring of Honor, where they will make an absolute mockery of him because he cannot wrestle. They'll put him in the ring with Jonathan Gresham in a pure championship match, where Jonathan Gresham will just stretch him like Stu Hart in Stu Hart's Dungeon. So yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't making it hard. I was more making a statement.
Yeah. And here's the deal.
1 against you and 2 against WWE.
Yeah. Here's the deal. Finn Balor goes to AEW. He can immediately be put in the main picture because he gets a fresh start and he can be presented as a star from the beginning. So.
Oh, wait. They did that in WWE. He got injured.
And they
said, you're never going to be a title contender again.
And they sent him down to NXT, and they presented him really well in NXT. And then they peed down their leg a bit, and then they sent him back to the main roster where they're just going to feed him to the big dog.
Let's hope not. 2 more days. 3 more days. 3 more days. We'll see that they don't do that.
They're gonna. They are gonna. But anyways, on that note,
goodbye.
We will go ahead and start to close the book on the Fantasy Booking Institute. Keep this a little shorter. We've been going really long on these, and I think we're going to try to keep them shorter for now. JLB will come back, and who knows, maybe that'll change things. Yep. Get out of here. Go on, get. But yeah, you can check all the links in the doobly-doos down below for our Patreon, our merch store. I can't point to the merch and socials because they're not in my frame anymore. The merch and the socials all down there. So you can support us in all of those ways there. You can go to the merch store and you can get your cool autographed shirt for the next event you go to, or any of the other shirts. We're also really, really close to launching the Sasha Bear shirt. And I don't know if anyone else out there is going to think it's as hilarious as I do, but I'm telling you this, every time I open it to work on it, I giggle for 15 minutes. I cannot stop laughing at it because I think it's so funny. And so I will be rocking a Sasha Bear shirt.
It took us 2 years to get Vignette's put as a shirt, and it's still not up.
No.
And it took, I say something stupid like Sasha Bear by accident one time, and you got it in 2 weeks.
Because Sasha Bear is hilarious, and I immediately had this picture of Yogi Bear in my head. And because of that, I did this. And my wife made me put pants on Sasha Bear because she thought it was disturbing without pants. Even though Yogi doesn't wear pants.
Yeah.
That should be disturbing.
Yeah, when was the last time she saw a female bear in the woods with a bikini bottom on?
Yeah, seriously.
Or top, for that matter.
Or top. Anyways. I'm telling you guys, if your sense of humor is anything close to mine, you're going to love the Sasha Bear. And so I'm going to put that one up. But I'm still working on other ones. I'm still working on a cop boat one. That one's going to be up at some point. I've just got to get that done.
And that's really just a one-off episode, too, where we just made fun of...
Cop boat.
Just sat there and made fun of Thunder in Paradise. Most of the episode.
Yes. And in fairness... Maybe that's what we should do instead of actual fantasy booking, because that's a ton of fun. Just fucking
make fun of stuff in wrestling.
Yes. But anyways, you can go to all the links in the doobly-doos for all of that. You can follow us on social media. I am at Raw and Order WBU right there. DA Fabe is...
At DA Vincent Kayfabe.
Mm-hmm. And JLB's at whatever the fuck JLB always says, because he's not here to say it, and I'm not gonna try to remember it. So you can go to one of the previous
Real
episodes.
Talk
to
Radio
listen
is the
to that.
brand.
But yeah.
Real Talk Radio 8, and gonna be doing a Big Brother broadcast.
Yeah. I don't know if
Big
he's
Brother.
done a broadcast in weeks, but schooling is getting so hard.
I bet he's watching Big Brother though.
Oh yeah, you better believe that. He's just not coming on this podcast.
I can tell you that if you're going to school for graphic design to make funny shirts, stop it. Just listen to stupid stuff that your friends say and visualize it, and then all of a sudden you got Sasha Bear.
Yeah, Sasha Bear. Vignette.
Cop boat. Sasha Bear on Cop Boat.
Pissant podcast.
That one was literally designed just of us going, hey, we should say something, make a Pissant t-shirt for Pissant t-shirt company. And you said Pissant podcast. And we went, okay.
I literally am angry I didn't think of that shirt like 2 years ago.
Yeah, because it's been around for that entire time.
But there's part of me that wants to actually get that shirt and wear it to the Zello Pro.
The Pissant podcast one?
Pissant podcast shirt.
That's probably what I'm going to do. Probably going to order two and go.
I definitely will have this hat, but I might wear this shirt because I don't know. And then I'm going to get an autograph shirt so it can hang on the wall right back there.
And you're going to get it in green.
Yep, probably.
Because you're lame. You're a lame-o potato.
I might do the green tie-dye because I think that looks kind of cool, though. So.
You going to frame it, or are you just going to hang it on your wall?
Probably frame it, but I'm trying to decide whether to do like the big frame that it shows the whole T-shirt, or
just frame the signature
like fold
page.
It so just the signature page shows. I don't know. We'll find out. Or maybe I'm just gonna wear it. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
We'll decide
maybe you'll wear the first podcast after Zello Pro, which will be probably that night.
Yeah. I mean, we'll definitely
probably broadcast live in front of each other because that would make sense to do.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, we might just out in the parking lot outside of the arena do a quick
and grab fans as they're walking by. What'd you think of Drama King Matt?
Yeah, I just noticed that they added Warhorse to the thing this week, and I'm so stoked. They didn't announce it or anything. He just suddenly appeared on the poster, and I'm like, Warhorse!
We may have to do our stream during our meet and greet if we're allowed to.
Yeah, that's going to be the thing. At the very least, I might put up some videos on TikTok from the meet and greet, but we'll figure this out when that happens. Anyways.
A little bit of tick, a little bit of talk.
A little bit of tickety talk. It's a little bit of the clock app. Anyways, but so make sure to like, share, and subscribe to this podcast on wherever you're listening to it, or if you're watching the live stream or the replay of the live stream on Facebook or YouTube. Make sure to click that little thumbs up button or the like button. Make sure to be subscribed to either the page or the YouTube page. In fact, do both. Go to Facebook and become a fan of us there, and then go over to YouTube and subscribe to us there. It helps us out a lot that way. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and close the book on the Fantasy Booking Institute. Thank everyone
and
for
then
listening.
Share.
Yeah, and share with your friends. But thank you all for listening. We will see you soon.
Bye.